Welcome back to the Transformation Chamber. I'm your host, Ronald, and tonight I wanted to talk about something. It wasn't like a particular topic, but I wanted to get into what are you standing on? And sometimes we all have these things we stand on. We all have these values and principles that we stand on, but they can get drowned out by the need for acceptance. You want to be accepted by the people, so you kind of push your principles down, your needs down, because you need to be accepted by this other person. And I wanted to speak to everybody tonight about, whatever you standing on, don't look at it like it's something militant, like you have to be, on 10 when you stand on something. There's plenty of things I stand on. And standing on something, standing on my values, has nothing to do with fighting. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. For me, I'm pro love, and so with that being said, standing on something, standing on your values, me telling somebody that I'm standing on my value for what I believe in, it has nothing to do with fighting or being a rebel or anything like that. It's letting them know I won't be bullied for that. Whatever the case may be, if I'm at some place and they think that they think that my values are not important and we're gonna go about it this way, and they're just trying to like write me off or whatnot. By me standing up for what I believe in, for you, no, matter of fact, for you standing up for what you believe in, it doesn't mean that you're some rebel or anything like that. You're telling the person I won't be bullied, that I will be heard. Point blank, period. You'll be heard. And we all deserve the right to be heard, no matter what. And that's just basic human nature. If you're saying something out of respect, I'm gonna listen to what you have to hear. Basically, just that's it's the lowest thing, So never be afraid to don't dumb down who you are inside. That's point blank. Period. Never dumb down who you are inside. I don't care if you're at a job. I don't care if you're in a relationship. If it's a friendship. If it's like a partnership, like maybe you're trying to make a deal and you just you kind of going towards, let me believe in what they believe in so I can get that $1 or $2 million check, whatever the case may be. Don't dumb down who you are. Don't sell off who you are. Because if you have to do that, then you're not being 100%. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being 100% honest with the people that you're selling your product to, or that you're in a relationship with, or that you're working with side by side. So, tonight, I would like us to focus on, so let's start focusing on whatever we believe in. Let's take the time to write those down. What am I believing in and whatnot? And it doesn't mean go to work the next day and go hit the streets the next day and start yelling it out loud and things like that. Like if you come across a situation where you believe in something and a person is telling you, oh, let's just take the shortcut. Like it's not going to be a big deal. We can do this and still get ahead. And you believe that that's not the right way to go about it. For example, let's say it's a job. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't cut yourself short. Don't take a shortcut because that person next to you is willing to take a shortcut. Because when you take shortcuts, you cutting yourself short. You're going to compromise the integrity of your soul. For what? For a short gain? For something that all you have to do is go hit them books, study a little bit more? And all that means is that if you're going about something the right way, right? You're going about something the right way, and they're not hearing you. Like they said, it's falling on deaf ears and whatnot. Their ears work perfectly fine. They don't want to listen to what you have to say. In my opinion, for me, it lets me know I'm in the wrong environment. Because whenever I'm in the right environment and I'm speaking about something that is, not just like worthy, but something of value, something of principle, something that's important, something that is going to uplift people, and people are like, nah, we don't want to hear that. I'm in the wrong environment. So tonight, how many of us are out there right now where we're at the wrong job, we're going to the wrong church, and what I mean by that is more of, putting yourself in the wrong element, in the wrong environment. I don't care if it's church, home, school, job, house, whatever it is. You owe it to yourself to be into the right environment. When you're in the right environment, when you're in tune with that right environment, it's going to charge you up. It's going to charge them up. And like the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. And that's the environment you want to be in. I want to be in an environment where everybody's going to lift me up. Where instead of judging me, they're going to pull me to the side and be like, hey, brother, that wasn't the right way to go about that. Let me show you another way how to go about that, that won't tear people down, that won't, judge people. This is the environment I choose to be in, you know. And like I said, I've been in on the other side. I've been in judgmental environments, and I've been in areas, and I've been in relationships where, it just wasn't the right thing. And, maybe months into it, I would say like, man, like I don't think this is not, me talking to myself. I'm saying like, Ron, this ain't for us, man. We need to kind of get out of this. But you start making excuses for yourself. If you at a job, you start saying, well, Ron, I gotta pay my bills. What am I gonna do? The car note is not gonna pay itself. The mortgage or the rent's not gonna pay itself. Yeah, I understand that. You got a tough decision to make. But are you willing to sell yourself in exchange to give that bank the check to pay the mortgage or to pay the car note? These are the tough decisions that we have to make. Now, when you're standing on something that is of value, that's worthy, that's on principle, understand that I'm not going to stand here and tell you it's going to be easy. I'm just telling you that it's going to be worth it. You don't want to sell yourself. You don't want to sell little pieces of yourself just for a short fix. Because guess what? Then tomorrow, you got to sell a little bit more of yourself. And then next week, a little bit more. So on and so forth. By the time you know it, you at a job 20 years, you done sold your whole self. For what? Because I guarantee you, you're going to look at the retirement fund and you're going to be like, damn, it wasn't even worth it. Your kid's going to look at you, but like, man, like Pop, Pop kind of, what was going on with him? Like, he just did it just to do it. And, he wasn't like, he didn't do what he loved. He didn't stand up for what he believed in. He says one thing, but then he's going to turn around and do the total next and then justify it. Well, I had to put food on the table and I have to do this. Let's start setting ourselves up and putting ourselves in environments that are healthy for us, that are good for us, that are nurturing for us, that will help us grow. Wherever you're at, you need to be able to grow where you're planted. And then when we get into that environment where we're able to grow, let's start finding people that we can add into our environment, into our relationship that is good for that area. If it's a job, and if it's a great job, and it's a good environment for people to be in, and they can grow, start finding people that and see if they willing to apply for that job. If it's your business, me personally, when it might be my business, I only want people around me who's going to help me grow, and who wants to grow themselves. Most importantly, I want you to be able to grow yourself, because I want you to be able to leave this company and say that, you know what, now I'm able to be better at the next place. That, when I was at this company, Ron treated me like this and treated me like that and showed me how to be better and showed me how to want more. And now I can go somewhere else and be better. Because I never want to hold anybody back. When you work with me, and I never say, do you work for me? When you work with me, I'm going to tell you that this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for the position that I'm looking to fill. So, if a person tells me that, well, Ron, these are my values or whatnot, and this is something I'm going to ask in an interview, what's your values? What's your principles? What are you standing on? Because I need to make sure that we are, standing on something that's similar. We don't have to agree on every single thing. Maybe you like the Dodgers and maybe I like the Yankees, or that's just an example. I'm not a sports person, but maybe we like different things, right? But it doesn't mean that we don't stand on the same thing. For me, I stand for what's just. I stand for what's fair. And has it always been an easy route? Nah. I wish I can tell you it's always been cupcakes and cookies and pies, but it's not. I bumped heads with many chefs. I bumped heads with many employers. I got fired from jobs because of what I stood on. And at the time, I got frustrated. Like, at the time I had bills. I didn't have kids. So, I don't have kids now. So I never had to, put that into the formula. But as I grew older and I seen people who would have families and would have things that they don't want to lose, they would say these excuses and justify, like, well, I have to do this because I have to put, food on the table. And basically what I'm trying to tell them is, like, try to take a step back so you could take 2 steps forward. Maybe this job is not for you. So if this job is not for you, it doesn't mean quit right away. It means start finding a job and before you go look for a job, right? Before you go look for another place to go, Take the time to write down a list of all your values and everything. And then start going on interviews. When you got your list and you equip with your core values, go to these places. And these are the questions that you're going to ask them. I'm going to ask you, like, because the person who's interviewing you, they're going to, usually at the end, they're going to say, you have any questions for me? And me personally, I always have a list of questions that I'm going to ask the person next to them, because I want to know what they stand for personally, professionally, not personally. And then I want to know what the company stands for. And if you can't answer these questions, if you're stumbling on your answers and you're like, oh, well, I think, you know what I think? I think this is not the company for me. I think this is not the place for me. And when you do this, you'll find yourself in a position that by honoring yourself, God is going to honor you. God is going to favor you. Because now you're taking the time to say, you know what? I only want to be in environments where I'm able to uplift, encourage, help build up, and see people do good instead of gossip, take people down, judge people. And like I said, I work culinary right now. I work in kitchens, and I've seen a lot of environments like that where instead of them just taking you to the side, they want to call you out and be like, oh, this is overcooked. And what were you thinking? Are you stupid? So when I hear people talk like that, these are people that I typically never, actually not even typically, I never want to conversate with these people. I avoid these people. I'm cordial though. I'll come in, good morning, how you doing? Because I can't let their negative attitude or negative way of looking at life, justify or get on, come on to me and start having me change, because then I'm doing the same thing they doing. If I see they're being negative and I come in and I'm not spreading the light and and shining my light on everybody in the restaurant or in the area, the room that I'm in, then I'm doing the same thing they're doing, just in a different way. So I'm cordial with it, but as far as I'm saying, let's hang out, let's do this, nah, you good, bro. You got it, because I can't associate with, when you want to start being uplifting and if you don't know how to do it. And it's funny because some people are like, well, how don't you know how to be uplifting and encouraging? For some people, it doesn't come natural, or they've never been taught how to just want to see somebody do good. That's just a reality of it. But if you don't know, if you've never been taught that, and you can see somebody that's exhibiting these skills or exhibiting these characteristics and this personality that they have, me personally, what I did, I gravitated towards those people. People who were successful, great chefs, I gravitated towards them. I would make it my business to set up my cutting board somewhat in the vicinity, if not next to them, close by them, so I can listen to what they were talking about, who they were talking about. Hey, did you watch this documentary on this chef, and the things they were talking about and the places they were talking about? I would get close enough to where I can hear that. And then when I was able to when I did that, they would see that, this guy's always trying to get close to me. Then they would invite me to the conversation. Ron, who do you follow when you're at home? What type of documentaries or what type of stuff do you watch? If I didn't have anything great to say, I wasn't intimidated by it, I would just say, man, look, I'm really just inspired by the things that you talk about. And, I'm really I'm not at that level yet. So I'm listening to the people that you follow and that you talk about and that that you watch. And I go home and I watch them. And then I Google the people associated with these people. But, it doesn't mean that I always have the right thing to say, because sometimes those chefs were way up here and I was just line cooking. I was just way down there. But I just made it my duty to get next to them and learn from them. And I told myself that, wherever you go, grow where you're planted. God had you there for a reason. But, not to I don't want to kind of get off topic. But like I said, in these jobs, anybody who knows me or knew of me, maybe don't speak to me now for whatever reason, they know that, when you see me, I'm going to stand on something. And that's what it is. And just because you stand on something different and we disagree, and I'm like I said, it's not like I am Ronald, and whatever I say is right. It just means look, you have your values, I have mine, and maybe both our values are encouraging, but just different types of encouragement. Great, we can work, we can work together, we can work side by side. But if you're into just tearing people down and then making it seem like when I'm trying to lift people up and I'm trying to inspire and I'm trying to do things the right way they're supposed to be done, and you're making it seem like because I'm doing this, I'm a radical, or I'm this and I'm that. No, what you're doing, in fact, what you're doing, you're bullying people. You're bullying people to make them think that doing the right thing is the wrong thing. Whatever you stand on, just stand on it. Because we know who bullies are. You know who they are. They're the people that's going to try to prey on the weak. But they're not really preying on the weak. They're preying on the strong. But people who are afraid to be strong. In my book, there's no weak. Sometimes you're just afraid to be strong because you're afraid of what comes with it. But don't have that fear in you. Let that strength out. Because when they see your true strength, trust me, then they're going to want to be your friend. Then they're going to want to feel like, then they're going to want to say things like, can you show me this and show me that? Sometimes we're the only light in the room to show other people, God, or show other people how to go about things the right way. But don't dumb down your greatness. Don't dumb down, what you stand for because you want to be accepted. Most importantly, the most important person to be accepted by in life is yourself. If you cannot look yourself in the mirror when you brushing your teeth, if you can't accept yourself, then what does it matter if you're accepted by everybody else? Because they don't pay your bills. They're not going to be there when you close your eyes. They're not going to be there, maybe they'll be there in the hospital for you or not, but trust me, they're not going to be there when the times are important. So tonight, let's write down those values. Tonight I encourage you to write down those values. And when you write down your values, if you're going to work or if you own the company or wherever you're going, let's start seeing how our values match up with other people. And like I said, you may find you will. You'll find someone who will, make you feel like a little bit less, or tell you that your way is wrong, or it's not the way of the company, or it's not the way we do. My favorite thing, it's not the way we do things around here. You're not gonna bully me into telling me that what I think is wrong when I'm really all about building up people. Now I'm not saying I can't go about things the wrong way. But at that point, they can say like, hey, I like what you're doing, but you got to go about it in a different way. And I'm all there to listen to you. So tonight, let's make that list. Let's list our values down. And then if you're going on your job interview and you got a job interview, congratulations on your job interview. I pray that you find the position that you're looking for and you find the environment that you're looking to grow in. And take that time to interview your interviewer. Trust me, they love it. If you're interviewing somebody, I love when somebody asks me questions because I get a chance to, tell them my perspective on it. And then the person now sees that you're engaging with them, that you're not just going to be timid or whatnot. Don't be nervous or fearful or afraid that it may not be the same as, as what they got going on. And don't be afraid if you don't know that much. It's okay if you don't know that much. But tonight, let's take that time to list down these values. And like I said, when you stand upon something, it's just and you stand upon those values, it's just really just letting people know that you won't be bullied for what you believe in. And whatever you believe in, wholeheartedly, if you know that what you believe in is good and it's to build people up and it's to for the better of people, to encourage them to want to be better. If that's what you're going for, that's what you're striving for, don't be afraid to show your strength. And I want to tagline that. Do not be afraid to show your strength. You are not being that ignorant person or that, I don't even know the word I want to use right now, but you're not being the guy where it's just like, oh, they're gonna protest and do this and whatnot. No, I'm just letting people know I'm not afraid to show my strength. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being confident. I'm confident in my strength. If God has given me strength, I can be confident in the strength He's given me. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight for the Transformation Chamber. Once again, my name is Ronald. I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys are having a good time, having a good weekend, staying safe out there. Thank you.